My name is Gail Powley. I'm president of Technology Alberta, an Alberta-wide organization promoting the growth of the tech sector. I'm a volunteer for the rainforest in Edmonton and wherever I may be, because the rainforest does great things. So most of you know about the rainforest already. So we'll go into our recognitions that in the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot, the Tsuut'ina, I can't say all these words, so my apologies, the Métis Nation, Region 3, and all people who make their homes in Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. For those in Edmonton, we acknowledge the traditional lands of Treaty 6 territory of the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, as well as the Métis. These sacred gathering places provide us with an opportunity to engage in and demonstrate leadership on reconciliation. Thank you for your enthusiasm and commitment to joining Rainforest Alberta in doing so. So the pillars of the rainforest, please proceed with the YouTube.
Video.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, what happened there? I am operating on a very tiny one screen and it's not, I might not be playing this. I'm not sure why it's not, there we go.
What does it take to realize an idea or for a seed to sprout? At Rainforest Alberta, we know the answer is rooted in trust.
It's very quiet.
Traditionally, Albertans have cultivated their
Let me try to fix that. I'm not sure if I can.
Inputs that don't fit these systems are weeded out. Opportunities for growth are missed. But now, Albertans want a dynamic landscape that can evolve organically, like a rainforest. At Rainforest Alberta.
Sorry guys, I can't up the volume, and just because I'm working on the tiniest little screen in history and trying to see all of the Zoom things, I'm just going to direct you all over to our YouTube channel to check out the video that talks about all of our values here at the Rainforest, including signing our social contract, which you can find on our website.
Very good. The pillars of the rainforest will be familiar to our regulars and to the new people who have joined us today. We focus on 6 pillar areas: culture, leadership, resources, engaged activities, policy and infrastructure, and role models. Next slide. We measure our progress in all of these areas, and we build community. So the tips of making the most of this time of lunch without lunch is to introduce yourselves in the chat, and also if you have any questions in the chat as our sessions go on, as well as connect with individuals through direct messages, as well as linking in with them. Please put your camera on. We want to get to know everyone and certainly love seeing the new faces and the regulars. Please do feel free to ask questions and suggest ways that we can support each other. And then there's always the ask, if there's something that you need, please reach out and say that you're looking for customers, investors, feedback, as well as what you can give. Keep connecting on Rainforest Slack workspace and check out Pound Lunch Notes for a capture of today's chat. And the recordings are posted on YouTube.
Awesome. Thanks, Gail. Thanks for sharing all that. And on the note on the LinkedIn connections, we ran a survey where folks said, I don't like when people just cold LinkedIn connect me. If you're connecting with people from folks from Lunch Without Lunch or the Rainforest, just leave a note and let whoever know who you are and why you're connecting. It always helps keep the Rainforest connection alive. So I'm just going to stop sharing this poll. So as Gail mentioned, we're kind of all over the place. I'm in BC today. My name's Bridget Legault. I'm the community manager with Rainforest in Calgary, and I've been away for a while, so I'm really happy to be back this week. And Amber, our community storyteller, is downtown Calgary at the Evolve U campus. And so I know we heard from Margo a few weeks ago. She was here with Rebecca from Inkley talking about a mentorship opportunity through their programs there. And we had already had Margo booked in for this virtual tour, kind of kicking off our summer series. We'll be virtually touring both startups and other orgs that support the tech ecosystem in our province to get to know them a little better, being that we haven't been able to be in each other's spaces for quite some time. I know that's starting to happen, but we'll do it virtually for a while. So I'll turn it over to them in a moment. But for those of you who don't know Margo Purcell is the co-founder and the CEO of InceptionU. and an essential skills facilitator with LWOL. Through Margo's leadership and love of learning, she not only steers the InceptionU ship, she coaches InceptionU learners through a self-awareness journey so they can adapt to an ever-changing future. So I love how you take that wholesome approach to the learner. And I know there are several other LWOL staff in the audience today. And I just want to give a shout out, Margo, for you and all your staff for being such avid supporters of the rainforest, and for quite often, I don't think you have a class in session right now, but when they are in session, oh, she's on 2 computers there, you're weirding me out. They always bring their entire cohort, software developers who are learning about the tech sector as they're learning their dev skills, into the rainforest to also learn about these human connections and the art of giving back and collaborating. And so we love having your learners join us when they're in session. So enough from me. I'll turn it over to Amber and Margo, who are going to hopefully not fumble through this virtual tour. Please bear with us in any tech glitches that may arise.
All right, are you able to hear me?
Totally.
Can you hear us?
Yep, we're good.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Bridget, and thanks, Rainforest Alberta, for having us back. I will say as well that with InceptionU, even the program that we run with the Evolve program, that was actually birthed out of the rainforest. So we have a lot to thank the Rainforest Alberta for as well, because it was in the connections and the conversations and the relationships that got built that we saw that there was a really big need. Prior to the first cohort that we launched in September 2018, there wasn't anywhere that people could go in Calgary to be able to get some of these shorter form intensives in order to be able to transition into tech. We were seeing that people had to go to Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, even Silicon Valley. So it was from that need that this concept of, well, let's do an intensive, let's do full stack developer, because there was a real need for that talent in the city, that InceptionU was able to really launch our very first program, which has been known as the Evolve program. So thank you, Rainforest Alberta, and everyone for your support as well. What we wanted to do today is give you a little tour of the space. I see that we've got quite a few of our cohort on. This will probably be the first time they're seeing the space. So there you go. You get to actually see where you would have been if we'd been able to be in person. We've been virtual for all of cohort 6. We want to show you what the space is. The aim is that we are back live in person with the next cohort in the fall. We're watching numbers and seeing what happens, and that's what we like to do. In the meantime, though, this space is not only a space for people to learn in our long form programs, it's also a space for the community to be able to come and learn and innovate together. There's all sorts of ways. So let's walk you through what we've got here, and you'll see our sticky notes and our planning and what we're looking at for the fall on the far end. This is our learning space. This is where, when we are running our 6-month program, this is where the learners are. It is set up for COVID right now. So normally we don't have it all classroomy like this, where it's all these tables. We did do this so people could be properly distanced when we were with cohort 5 last fall. And ideally what we do is we're actually grouping tables. It's about people being able to interact and collaborate, and what happens when multiple brains are allowed to be in person around a table together. So this is the main learning space. You'll see we've got lots of whiteboards. We did set up all sorts of audio video equipment here as well for the fall cohort, because when people were physically spread in a large open room like this, we needed to make sure that people could hear and see what was going on. And that equipment's going to be available for us to use in all sorts of different ways when we get through the other end of this pandemic. You will see that we've got a bunch of offices. I'm going to show you more of the offices on the other side. So Amber and I are going to start walking through here. And as we go, what you're going to see is it is a pretty open space. There are spots where learners can go into offices and work in their teams. Once they're into project teams, it is important that people do have an opportunity to sometimes just kind of close off from the rest of the open space and the noise. So we do have some spots for that. What we also have here is, we like to call this our analog space. This is a screen-free zone. We all spend, especially the last 16 months, we've all spent so much time on screens. And for people to really, really learn effectively, it's important we step away from the actual content absorption, and we create that space in our brains and in our conversation for other things to emerge. So we do make this an analog space that when they're in here, no screens allowed, even though the couch is comfy. Where we're going to go to when we're able to really open back up again, this whole white wall here is going to be a giant whiteboard. So you can do analog collaboration. Our brains work in so many different ways. We want to create the environment for people to be able to engage in all the methods that help them learn. So that's what's going to happen here. When we head over this way, we are into the kind of the other wing. We refer to this as the Nareva Design Studio. I'm going to show you why it's called the Nareva Design Studio when we get a bit further down. This is, again, another spot for people to be able to gather, collaborate. This is also a space that people and teams from current tech companies, current organizations can come in here, and we can facilitate all sorts of different things for you, particularly in and around the innovation space. And how do we actually innovate in lots of different ways? And this is about creating that space for your team, for your organization to step away from the day-to-day work and be able to actually look at things differently. And we've got lots of ways that we can do that. There's all sorts of facilitated sessions that we can do, and we custom create them. There's also a really fun room.
It's a really fun room.
It's a really fun room. So in this space, while it is about some facilitated sessions and some of the sessions that we've done as well, what we like to do with companies is take an actual real challenge that you're trying to get to, something you haven't been able to figure out, how do we do that differently? And we use that through a facilitated experience so that you're not actually completely stepping away and having to make the time to learn. And then we're going to go and apply that learning to the challenge. We say, bring the challenge into the learning space and we work through it. And one of the things that we can do to help you work through it is in our favorite secret room. So it doesn't look like much. This is our thinking with your hands material space. So one of the ways that we can innovate is to be doing it very, very differently, stepping away from words and language and computers and being able to actually use our hands. The physicality of manipulating different kinds of materials opens all sorts of channels in our brain. So that's what this is about, is that it's a room full of pipe cleaners and cardboard and styrofoam and all sorts of things to let your imagination run, and that you can create a prototype. You can be in that ideation space and you can create a physical model of a prototype that you can then actually start to build on in all sorts of other ways. And there is something that happens in our brains when we are doing work with our hands that is different than if we're only thinking about it in a conceptual way, or if we're only talking about it using words and language. So that's what this space is about. That's what these materials are about. And we do that work in the space we were just in. So that's an analog way of doing innovation. This is the reason it's called the Nareva Design Studio. So we have a partnership with Nareva. They equipped this space with the technology and the platforms that we can do digital collaboration as well. And there's all sorts of software that we've all been using over the past 16 months, especially, where you can be doing that here. And you can be working with Mural, you can be working with Miro, and then having this space where you're also physically together. And maybe you've got a distributed team and you want to be able to do that innovation work with members of the team that may be located somewhere else. With this technology, we can have you working collaboratively together, enhanced by the digital platforms that we've got as well. So we're really excited to be able to reopen this space. We were all ready for a big launch when COVID hit. So a little bit of a pause here and lots of opportunity to come when we're able to gather again. We have some other offices here. They're in production right now, and these are going to be collaboration rooms. And so we have 10 offices. 5 of them will be collaboration rooms, which are going to be equipped with TV monitors and whiteboards and all sorts of different materials for teams to be able to come and be able to work away at innovating and creating together and away from the office. Sometimes even just not being in the regular workspace, whether that workspace is at your home now, whether that workspace is in an office. Being away from there does create room again in our brains for us to do different kinds of ways of looking at it and approaching things. So we've got an artist who's right now working at coming up with some artifacts that we'll be able to put up in the room to stimulate the thinking. So each room will be themed. We know one theme is going to be the curiosity room. We're really excited to see what the artist comes up with and what will stimulate your thinking simply by being in that curiosity room. So that's our space.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anything else?
Really cool, Margo. Thanks for sharing. It's pretty cool to be able to come into someone else's space. We've got, do we have any questions from folks in the virtual room? I know someone had asked if there's any materials that they can share to help promote your programs, and Al's shared the link to InceptionU, but do you have any other comment on that, Margo?
We are working right now. We're doing a whole website rebrand and refresh. So watch for that.
Oh, okay.
And we are working on some of those materials. So as soon as we've got them, we'll be happy to share it. And we would really appreciate if members of the community help to share that out. So that you know as well, we have in the fall. So the plan right now is in September, we will be launching in the second half of September, cohort 7 for the full stack developer program. And we are actively taking applications right now. While some of the funded seats, the same funding mechanism that we've had in the past, we're still waiting to see if we're awarded those seats. There are other funding mechanisms if people do need to have access to funding in order to be able to cover their tuition. So do reach out to us. We're happy to speak with you about that. We're launching a second long form program under the Evolve banner, and that is the full stack designer. So we're aware that there is a need for design talent, including UI, UX, and how do we actually design great products? And that will be launching in the first half of November. So applications are open for that as well. And feel free to reach out to any of us about that. Again, our aim is that we will be in this space for the full stack developer program in the fall.
Super exciting, super exciting. That that CBRE report came out around tech talent, and Alberta got a lot of highlights there, Edmonton and Calgary. So thank you for all your work in this area. Anyone else have questions? Want to unmute and ask Margo? We also have Al.
There was a fun question.
Okay.
Will there be Lego?
Oh yeah.
So much Lego.
So much Lego. And so that you know, one of our co-founders, Jill Langer, she is actually licensed in Lego Serious Play. And in normal times, Lego happens on day 1 of all of our cohorts, is that you need to demonstrate what team is. You need to make a creation of who you are based out of Lego. So yes, there will be lots of Lego. We even looked at getting a steam sanitizer so that we could have used Lego in September, and we couldn't get it to arrive on time. So yes, lots of Lego to come.
She's
Exciting.
also, is it a what is that called?
Bacablo.
Bacablo facilitator.
Yeah, Jill is the only licensed Bacablo facilitator who is trained to train others in Canada. So we're really, really lucky to have her as one of the co-founders, one of the members of the team. And we build that into all of our programs. How do you actually communicate visually? How do you share your ideas and your thinking in different ways? And one of those ways is visually. And it doesn't mean you need to be artistic. What she shows is that absolutely anybody can do this. And whether it's a process that you're trying to communicate visually, whether it's an idea, there's all sorts of things that you can do. So that is built into our program. And there will be offerings of that are coming out when we're able to join again.
That's good to know. I would love to take that training. I'm going to throw the link in the chat for anyone who's interested. All right. Any other questions?
I have a question. Hello. Are you operating with a bias towards hardware and software, or is there any discrimination there?
Sorry, I'm trying to understand the question in terms of the programs we run.
Yeah, in the programs you talk a lot about full stack development and that sort of thing, and then we've got talking about what sounded like hardware design to me, and I'm wondering if there's any preference built into your system.
Oh, I don't believe so. And the full stack designer is more around software development, software design is what it will be, though we're looking at fundamental principles of design.
that someone could apply to absolutely anything. So when we look at design, we're looking at how do humans behave, how do they think? And truly understanding those can mean that we design any kind of product in a way that will actually solve the problems we're trying to solve and that people will actually use it. If we don't take into account that understanding of how we behave and think, we often build things that don't ever get used. So that's the aim of the full stack designer. And it's called full stack because there will also be an amount of coding that is included, different kind of coding and different amount of coding that will be part of the full stack designer program. And we'll be encouraging those people that come through that program, again, to take the design and their design capability wherever they see it's most meaningful and where the need is that they want to address.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a quick question about how you're teaching design. What approach are you guys taking to the design education program? Is it more of a MOOC style learning, or do you have instructors who are, you know, experienced university educated designers?
So the approach to the design program, and I have to say, this is where my colleague Greg Hart would be much better at answering these. And I don't know if Susanna Toss is on the call today. She is one of the people who's helping us with designing the program. So it is, we're taking all of the essential skills that we do, which is the critical thinking, systems thinking, creative thinking, and that's all put together again through the lens of design. Our instructors are going to be people from, and we actually refer them as facilitation team, and they are people from industry who have the experience, whether it's human computer interface, who have experience in product design as well. Again, be that a software product, be that other kinds of products. And we're bringing in people who are designers from, luckily Greg has contacts all over the globe. So there will be all sorts of guest facilitators as well. I don't know if that answers your question fully.
Yeah, that does. Thank you.
Okay.
Jesse has his hand up.
Yeah, hi. I'm kind of curious, what are you looking for in the cohort that you're trying to bring in? Are these junior sort of students? Are they seasoned professionals? Are they more very technical, kind of more, maybe they're more on the engineering project management side? Who are you looking for to kind of sign up for your program?
I would say yes and to all of the ones that you said. So what's been really great and fascinating from our standpoint as learning designers and facilitators is the diversity of people that have come into our programs. They're diverse in terms of their backgrounds, their industry that they came from, their ages, the cultures they come from. All of that diversity actually enhances the learning. It's been an interesting design challenge to have a single cohort with people who have such a wide range of technical capability. For example, on the full stack developer program, we have people with a very wide range of technical capability coming into the program, and they're all in the same cohort. And one of our aims is that you don't get left behind, you don't get held behind, so that we can morph the learning experience to suit people so that they're challenged, whether there's someone who's already got a computer science degree, perhaps they went a hardware route, and now that they're looking to transition, they're saying, I need to get updated on softwares again because I haven't done programming in a while. And we've had people who have, well, they passed the tech assessment, they may never really have written a line of code prior to doing that, and everything in between. So what happens in the program is that's where that mentorship comes in. And by teaching other people, you're actually testing your own understanding as you're updating your skills. And the people who have less experience are being stretched to learn it as they go as well. What we can also do is we set things up so that we talk about mild, medium, and spicy. We refer to peppers all the time. And so we've got a level that we want to see that people leave the program with, where they can contribute to a company, to a project, to a product as soon as they leave the program. And then what we show them is, okay, this is what a mild level looks like. If you can get it to do this, you've reached mild. Then we say, oh, you can already do that? Well, here's what medium looks like. See if you can get that to do this. And here's what spicy looks like. So that in the same cohort, we're giving people opportunities to go as far and as deep as they want to and as they can. So that again, it's not like, oh, well, you have to wait until everybody's there and then you get to do that. That's where they have that ability to have that customized experience. So whether they're an engineer, whether they're an accountant, whether they're a bus driver, a barista, whatever they might be coming with, they get to bring their whole selves here, add on tech understanding, and then also take that experience that they can share that perspective and understanding with their fellow learners. And it creates really great outcomes, both in the technology that they create, as well as in the learning that they do. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, thank you.
We're
You
looking for
mentioned
oh,
different
one last
fun-
thing, sorry. One last
Go
thing.
ahead.
I will say there are 3 things we are looking for. We are looking, are you curious? Do you have an open mindset? Are you a lifelong learner? And then if you can be vulnerable and humble, those things. So can you be humble enough to know, I don't know everything, I've got lots to learn? Can you be vulnerable enough to say, I don't know that yet? And if you've got the curiosity and the open mindset and the lifelong learning with those other factors, you're off to the races.
I was just going to ask, you had mentioned that you're looking at some funding models. The Canada-Alberta Jobs Grant, would that be applicable? Do you have to be an employee already to apply for that, or can you be unemployed? Do you know?
Thank you for that. So the Canada-Alberta Job Grant is one of the ones we're letting people know about, because they did change that in March. And what they've made, it used to be that you had to be an employee. If you were an owner of the company, you couldn't apply. Now you can be the owner of the company. So if you are self-employed, if you've got, and it can be sole proprietorship, it can be an incorporated company, it can be all sorts of formats that you can apply to have a certain percentage of your tuition granted back to you. So you can invest in yourself through your own company. And that's one of the funding mechanisms that people can use that is available right away.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for that question.
Any other questions?
I have a quick question. Just it's a bit of a leading question, and we might get into it a little bit later. But what are your thoughts, Margo? And hi again.
I think that's Peter. Is that
Peter, yeah.
okay?
It is.
It is on low code, no code sort of environments, and how that's finding its way into your world.
Yeah, and you and I have had some great conversations about that. So we're still a pretty small, scrappy team. And as we are looking at that, we are seeing that there is, and we're exploring it really actively, that there is a real opportunity in that low code, no code environment to open gateways into the field of technology for a lot more people. What we know is that tech companies don't only need software developers, right? Just like oil and gas companies don't only need engineers. So tech companies also need a wide variety of people to be able to be a successful company. And looking at that low code, no code environment, we're hoping as we look into that even further, that there can be opportunities for people to learn that along with the essential skills that we do, and open, again, more access into the field of technology for more people by them learning how to do that. So it is something we're actively looking at right now, Peter. Next conversation will go even deeper.
So how do employers interact with you? So, if they want, so if there are growing software companies here that want to hire some of your students, what should they do?
There are so many ways. Thanks for that question. And we are working, and we will have some materials we can put out pretty quickly here as well, so that people can see that. And the website, again, as it's being refreshed, it'll be very easy to see the different ways. What I can tell you right now is if you have a story you want to tell, how has your company grown? Where is your company? How did you get there? How did you come up with even the idea for your company? And you want to share that with a group of really eager learners, there's always an opportunity to do a lunch and learn. They're all being done virtually right now, so we can set it up and we'll put it in any format that you're comfortable with. Do you want it a Q&A? Do you want to make a presentation? We'll work with you to make sure that you get a chance to really share your story and whatever it is that you want to share with your company. We also have Coda Tech. So Coda Tech is a way for you to be able to engage with the tech talent and help shape it. And that is using Discord. It is being one of the people that is available through Discord to help with the project teams as they're working away in their learning. And so it's a way that you could mentor and help contribute. And it's as much or as little time as you have and you want to do. So if you have other developers in your company and you want to meet some of this talent, what a great way to meet the talent when they're in the learning environment. And again, you can also help shape that talent that way. So that's another way. And then in terms of how else they can get in touch with our learners, we have Demo Day coming up on August 26th. So we have in our program, it's project-based learning, which means they are learning by doing. And we have a series of demo days. Demo day 1 is completely internal. Demo day 2 is internal, but now they're doing it to the whole cohort. Demo day 3, we open up the doors and we invite an industry. So if you are at all interested in attending that, please do reach out. We're happy to send you the Eventbrite link. It is again going to be virtual, and you can attend as much or as little as you're available to do. So what we've had companies do is they'll often share it around, and one person will attend for a half hour and someone else will attend for another half hour. So it's going to run Thursday, August 26th from 9 until noon. And again, attend as much or as little as you can with that. And then if you're at all interested in setting up an opportunity to meet with some of the learners, feel free to reach out to us and we can set things up for you as well that way.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Are you guys looking to expand beyond full stack and the UX UI skill sets, maybe into data or some of the other fields that would be, potentially necessary?
Yeah, we're watching for, because we're collaborating with a lot of the other educational ventures in Calgary, what we're all aware of is one organization is not capable of addressing the need. The need is far greater than any one organization can do. And we're collaborating with the others to make sure that we are meeting the needs that are out there. So staying in full stack developer, full stack designer, no, we have intentions of going beyond that. And we are already offering, again, to companies directly, some of our innovation series and things that you can do with your existing employees as well. So you can continue to grow and scale in the ways that you would like to do. In terms of the longer form programs, we've got some ideas and we're working away at getting the second one up and running with the full stack designer, and then we're looking at other things next. So that's where Rainforest Alberta and the members can be super helpful to us as well, is letting us know, what are you seeing? What needs are you seeing in your companies? And is there a way that we could create an offering that will help create the talent, build the talent that will meet the needs you have so that you can unleash your potential as well?
Awesome.
Awesome, thanks.
You're welcome. I can't see any of you.
I know.
Yeah,
I kind of like, I don't know if I should flip the camera. You can see.
Well, tricks for next time.
We're all smiling, Margo. It's all good.
They are. They are.
And Amber,
Okay.
you're one heck of a camera person, Amber. Well done.
Thank you.
Oh
Any
yeah,
other
Amber's
questions?
awesome.
Yeah, any other questions out there for Margo before we head into our breakout sessions? I'll take that as a no. Big thanks, Margo, to you and your team, and to Amber for heading down there to do this with you. And it was awesome seeing your space. So thanks for sharing. And yeah, we look forward to remaining to be involved with InceptionU and Evolve program. So thanks so much.
Thanks so much, everyone.
All right, everybody. So if you're new to the Rainforest, we like to take time to connect. That's why we all come together every week. And so we head into some small breakout rooms through the randomness and power of Zoom. Sometimes some rooms end up being smaller and some end up being bigger, and that's just the luck of the draw. So I will put some breakout rooms together here. We'll probably have time for a couple. I'll give you the 1 minute warning to come back, and then we'll keep rotating until about 5-2, at which point we'll do some community announcements and wrap up. So here we are, opening the rooms. There, back, and we will move right into announcements as we only have 4 minutes left. So I hope you all had great conversation and connections in the breakout sessions. Any announcements out there? Al, do you want to do a shout out for the podcast?
Yeah, I did already post it. I'll do it again. I just wanted to let people know that we have an opening. Well, I guess we always have an opening for new hosts. So if you need a really great excuse to connect with people and build your network, nothing works better than, hey, would you like to be on the podcast? I'd love to interview you. That's almost like 99.9% of the time you get a yes, and you get an opportunity to sit down with that person and get to know them better, which means that you build a rapport and you build a new connection. So the information's in the chat. Feel free to reach out to us if you want to be part of the show.
What episode number are you on?
126.
Ooh.
Woohoo.
Wonderful. Wow, 2 years.
Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Al. Thanks for all your work.
I've also been sending out an invite to the Rainforest Connector session that I host, which will be next Tuesday at 4:30. The link is there, the Eventbrite link, and I'm very happy to have a clean tech panel, which has Rainforest Energy and a fellow of the Rainforest who runs that, being our friend Peter. I don't know if Peter's still with us right now.
Yep, still here.
Peter, you have anything to say on what wisdom you'll be sharing on our Tuesday panel?
I just think it would be the event to not miss, because it's so much fun. And we're going to talk about waste to energy, and we're going to talk about new battery technology and circular economy. And I think it'll be lots of fun.
Excellent. Well said. We had a little speakers meeting yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. And so one of the other panelists, Grow Greener Energy Solutions, is a green battery system, and they're actively hiring. So you could meet your future employer, or just check out the information on that session, and please join us. Thank you.
Awesome. And Peter also has an announcement. So
Yeah, just a quick one that to say that on the 21st at 9 o'clock in the morning, we're going to do a low code, no code, mining the skills gap conversation and discussion. So there are going to be 2 demos of some low code environments at the beginning, a discussion, and then it'll be more of and it's very tight group. So we're only going to do 20 tickets because I really want a vibrant conversation. So get your tickets early. There's a link in this chat window, and I also posted the event in Slack if anybody is checking on the events in Slack.
awesome. On that note, a reminder, once you sign the social contract, you gain access to our Slack workspace, and there's lots of action and chatter in there. Anyone else for one final announcement before we wrap up?
Thank you, Bridget, for taking your time off of your vacation. That's awesome.
It's nice to reconnect and be back in the rainforest. So I'm happy to have done that. And thank you, Gail, for co-hosting, and to everyone for taking time out of your July summer afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your week. And as usual, we'll keep the room open for a little while if anyone wants to stay on and finish any conversations.